All right, we talked to Tom Vanderford today. He missed his normal segment on Friday. We wanted to get back and let him do that. We're going to put an extra video up of him doing just that. This is the Locked On Ole Miss Podcast Extra Edition.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, welcome to this extra edition of the Locked On Ole Miss Podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Willis, and thank you for making the Locked On Ole Miss Podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. Today, Dante Dowdle, 6'2", 212-pound running back out of Picayune, picked Oregon, so we're not going to really spend any time on that. Good player, though. He's a good, really talented running back, but we're not going to spend too much time on that. Anyway, thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss Podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. So do us a favor and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can upvote the video itself, and of course you can hit the bell for notifications of new videos whenever they post, which happens actually quite frequently. Also, you can subscribe to the site, and if you haven't, do it, please. If you have, let a friend know. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we will be doing post-game live with different personalities coming all in and talking about post-game videos and everything that's going on. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be about 30 minutes. It's not going to take up too much of your time, but we'll talk about what exactly happened. We'll try and drill down real quick. We'll get you out of there, and you can go on about your day and do whatever you need to do. Anyway, my name's Stephen Willis. If you see below, at Stephen Willis is my Twitter handle. That is my personal account. Which means I do tweet about Ole Miss, but also tweet about other stuff as well. If that was going to upset you, probably don't need to follow me. But if you don't care about that, give me a follow, because things to do with Ole Miss I talk about from time to time. The big news today, before we get on to Tom, is Roman Rashada, as a brother, got offered by Ole Miss. That's the brother of Jaden Rashada. Who Ole Miss has also offered the receiver. I think his name is Rashid something. Real quick, but they're going all in, and I just wanted to say that it's actually kind of impressive that they're going all in on a player like this, not named Manning, in a year where there's a Manning that's available. It tells you how good this kid is, and that they're going to absolutely shoot their shot with him, and not at the detriment of any other players or anything like that. But this is the one they're going after. They're going all in on this one, and that's actually quite interesting as well. So, our partners, BetOnline, continue to be the number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's basketball playoffs, Major League Baseball scores, fights, and even next season's NFL futures. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering information, from live betting to playoffs, esports, and more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts. Also, imagine dipping your finger into that plastic tub of birthday cake frosting and then opening your eyes to realize it's only 150 calories and 16 grams of protein. That's what it's like to eat a birthday cake puff from Built. I just received my birthday cake puffs, and I've never had anything like it before. They're available right now, and we can't promise they'll be there tomorrow, but you better go get them today at Built.com. So go to Built.com, get birthday cake puffs now. Go to the website, use promo code LOCKED15, all one word, LOCKED15, to get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at Built.com. All right, thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss Podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms, including iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review us on iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. Got an unbelievable kick-ass review from somebody out there, so thank you for that. But we're here with Tom Vanderford. He couldn't make it in yesterday's show or today's show, whenever you're going to watch this, but we want him to have his weekly segment anyway. How you doing, Tom?
Doing great, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah, my dog's going to be barking. We're going to have lawnmowers. It's going to be a whole thing because everything converged to happen at one time. So I apologize for that. Ole Miss takes on LSU in Baton Rouge. It's the Ole Miss baseball season was done and dusted by experts about 3 weeks ago. Ole Miss has fought their way back in. If Ole Miss takes 2 or 3 on the road at LSU, it's probably a better chance than not they make the NCAA tournament. What do you think, man? How do you think that works out, and what does it look like?
LSU's really good. I know they swept Mississippi State this year at State, but hopefully we're trending in the right direction. I'm not going to give up, and it would be apropos, especially for somebody like me who was talking about Coach Bianco, if he wins out and goes to the a regional and a super regional. You never know. But I really hated that we had the pitcher that's going to need the Tommy John surgery, Riley Maddox, I think. I hate that. But right now we're playing pretty good. Of course, now USM was number 11 in the country, so that's a good RPI win.
That's a good win.
And at LSU, if we can win 2 of 3, that puts us up there. I think we've still got A&M left too, right?
Yeah, if they win 2 out of 3 against LSU, the odds are probably better that they will get in than they will miss it. Now
Exactly.
they might be a 3 seed in Hattiesburg or a 2 seed in Hattiesburg, but that potential still exists. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, we're not out yet. So, kudos to the team for not quitting and struggling and stroking. That was one of the highlights of my night. I was out of pocket from my normal environment for a few days, and I hit Twitter and I was like, hey, the girls softball beat Georgia, and hey, we beat Southern. It was like, hey, cool. So
and Kevin Graham is waking up at the right time of year, and it's amazing how much better the lineup gets whenever he gets hot. So maybe everybody talked about Elko and put Elko up and Jacob Gonzalez and lifted him up, but maybe Kevin Graham was the secret to this offense all along.
You know what made me happy about Kevin Graham also? Because he made a diving catch. He hurt his wrist earlier in the year. I was watching a highlight the other day, and he made another diving catch. So as far as he's concerned, he's healed. He's ready to go. He's not got that anxiety about I don't want to hurt myself or whatever. He's all in. So that's positive.
Yeah,
that's positive. So you never know, man. You never know. That's why it's baseball. You never know.
Yeah, and let's change the subject from something that, believe it or not, we're talking about baseball, is something that is positive, to something that is a little bit negative. Dante Dowdle committed today, just committed actually after of us recording this. He committed to Oregon. Now, in any high school player, I've been trying to tell people and prepare people on this show for months that we are not a wealthy school. If there is a high-level high school kid, we are going to have trouble getting them because we just do not have Nike money. We do not have the Miami money that they're going to throw it away. We do not have the oil money. So we're in the transfer portal not because we want to. It's because we have to. It is our avenue to get to the level we want to be talent-wise to where we can compete. If you think you can use those guys and work over teams, like I talked today about how Lane Kiffin views next season's team as the 2022 team, and the next year to be the 2023 team. It's not a program. It's not something you're building over multiple years. You're not counting on redshirt seniors. You're trying to piece together the best team that you can each individual year. And because of that, you're sacrificing a program. It's going to be more team-based. There's going to be a lot of turnover. But this is the avenue that Ole Miss has to be successful in the future in the age of NIL, in the age of these traditional recruiters. and still be relevant. As you can see this year, Lane Kiffin has completely rebuilt this roster, improved the talent profile unbelievably. And I just think that, A, we need to leave NIL alone and let the market take care of what it needs to take care of. Yep. This year might be weird. Next year might be a little better. And I don't think we need to worry about the transfer portal. And I don't think we ever need to say again, this is the way it's always done, because that's out the window.
Exactly. That is exactly everything you just said. I agree with you 100%. I think also you've said it in the past, and with high school recruiting, sometimes it's better to come in second place. Mm-hmm. And I think that's still going to be the case. I'm not using Dowdle as an example, but you've got a Mississippi kid that's in Oregon, goes up there, gets homesick. He's a long way from home. You never know. So those kind of situations present themselves. But like you said, man, nobody's got Nike money. No. We will never have Texas A&M money. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So
on the podcast,
Lane understands that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the reason he's doing what he's doing.
Exactly.
But I explained to people, like in the 60s, Ole Miss was relevant beyond belief. It was a power in college football. The boosters and whatever happened allowed the program to severely drop off in the 70s to where by 1975 it wasn't relevant. And in the 80s, they were climbing uphill to try and build it back. In the 90s, they do that. It took them 40 years to get back to where they're even relevant.
Exactly.
But because of all of that stuff, I talked about, one thing I talked about today was about the Grove and versus Jackson. Because everybody talks about everybody needs to get to Vaught Hemingway Stadium and out of the Grove. People are staying in the Grove. Well, we built for 20 years, for 30 years, this environment to where the big games were in Jackson. There was no Grove. Where there was a Grove was a game that you could just relax. You could do whatever. Louisiana Lafayette's in the stadium. You can go over there for a little bit. And because of that...
Park your car.
Yeah. Because of that, it just got ingrained that these games in Oxford, they just don't matter. If it was big, it would be in Jackson. And I think that affects a little bit whenever you talk about getting people to the stadium or people winning the party and all of that stuff. It's a tradition that we built. It's something that we did. It was ingrained. It's not the people that's doing whatever. It is their expectations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and all this stuff that I talk about, it's not negative. It's just kind of what it's facts. It's kind of like, when I was talking about Arch Manning, and I said that this is the first time a Manning could go to Ole Miss where he could actually do harm. If he were to bust, it could actually literally tarnish the family name, because this team was in the Sugar Bowl last year.
Exactly.
Yeah, before Archie,
it's not a rebuild.
Yeah, before Archie took over, I think they were 5-5 or 4-6 or something like that. Before Eli got here, they were 7-4, and Romero did a lot of good things, but there was a long way they could go up. But this one is something where you could actually tarnish the family name if it was a bust, because Mannings haven't busted yet. The laws of average is going to catch up.
Yeah, and I was in the Arches coming to Ole Miss. I don't care what anybody says group.
That's where I was too.
Yeah, but now I see him going to an Alabama or a Georgia or somebody like that. Probably Georgia. I hope.
I think he's going to end up in Texas.
Yeah, that's fine with me too, as long as it's not Alabama and we play him every year. But I will say this: I think Rashada is really, 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 really good. And I know he's flirting with Oregon, and he's flirting with us and A&M, and we'll just have to wait and see. I think that's why they pulled. I mean, when your plan C is the number 18 quarterback in the country, If I'm not mistaken, Eli Manning was like number 18 in the country too. So if your plan C is number 18 in the country, yeah. And you still have the portal. You still have the portal.
And like you said, finish in the top 2. That's all you have to do.
That's right.
You're not supposed to win these competitions because we are playing in the portal. That is what we do. But Jaden Rashada, Ole Miss just offered his brother out of a junior college in California. He might not be very good. It could be a package deal. They offered his wide receiver at Pittsburgh. Ole Miss is going all in on what is going on with this quarterback. And when there is a Manning in this class and Ole Miss is doing all of this to somebody else, that says something to me.
It does me too. And, hey, we offered Laramie Tunsil's brother, and he was a good kid, but he had, at best, limited action his whole career at Ole Miss. But sometimes you gotta roll those bones to get somebody that you think is a Tunsil type player.
Yeah, to get Laramie Tunsil, Ole Miss had to give 3 scholarships because Cedric Woods got a scholarship as well.
Yep, that's true, Zed. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's true. And if we have to give 3 for Rashada, so be it.
Yeah, because it's worth it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I think that our football program, I know our football program's in good hands. I like the pro mindset. The things I hear from the couple of players that I know is that there's a buy-in. They love Coach Crum.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of positives, and a lot of these new coaches are good. They're really good. I mean, Lane is doing he's following the Saban playbook. Saban loses coaches all the time, and it's like he just reloads. He goes, yeah, I'll get you, or I'll get you, or he just reloads. And, on a lesser known name level, he's getting the young up and coming superstars, but we've got some awesome defensive coaches. We've got some awesome offensive coaches. So, it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out.
Yes. Anyway, thank you for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. Next week, Mount Rushmores will begin on this channel. Now make your second listen Locked On SEC. Get all of your daily SEC news in less than 30 minutes with SEC expert Chris Gordy. It's free and wherever you get your podcast. Tom, we appreciate it, bud. Always fun to meet with you. We had to do a special video this time, but hey, yeah, lots of fun.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy.
Yep.